With Vin Diesel dropping a new set video and confirming that Riddick 4 is getting close to filming, we're all wondering if it'll finally clear up some of those lingering questions from the last movie. Like, how did Johns even know about Riddick? And why didn't Riddick just steal the ships he needed? Plus, how long was Riddick actually stuck on that planet? Well, we've got some updates that might just shed light on these mysteries in the upcoming film. Vin Diesel has just shared an exciting behind-the-scenes video from the set of Riddick Furya, giving us a glimpse of what's to come. After first bringing Riddick to life back in 2000, Diesel has revisited the character in 2 sequels, in 2004 and 2013. Now, he's teaming up again with director David Twohy for this upcoming installment, which will take Riddick back to his home planet. Diesel's latest video, captioned Furian Friday, shows him on The Volume, a cool virtual production tech made famous by The Mandalorian. Filming is set to start on August 26th. Diesel also posted another update from Europe where he's attending pre-production meetings and thanked fans for their support. The Chronicles of Riddick movies haven't exactly won over critics, but they built a loyal fan base over the years. Riddick got mixed reviews but did alright at the box office, pulling in $98.3 million against a $38 million budget. With Twohy back at the helm, Riddick Furya is likely to stick to the visual and tonal style of the previous films. While it might not win over new critics, there's hope that it will capture the existing fans and offer a compelling continuation of Riddick's saga. The new film will dive deeper into Riddick's home planet and introduce a new antagonist. Upon returning, Riddick will rediscover his people are fighting for survival against this new threat, promising a fresh twist compared to the previous films. With production starting soon, we can expect more sneak peeks and updates from Diesel in the coming weeks. Now let's dive into some lingering questions that Riddick Furya might address, starting with, how did Johns know about Riddick? One of the most compelling aspects of Riddick was the dynamic between Riddick and Colonel Boss Johns. Unlike Santana's crew, who were only interested in killing Riddick for the bounty, Johns had a more personal agenda. He was determined to get information about his son, William J. Johns, who appeared in Pitch Black. This obsession led him to seek out Riddick, even if it meant risking his own life. However, the movie didn't fully clarify how Johns was aware of Riddick in the first place. We know that Johns was aware of the hunter Gratzner from Pitch Black, and that he knew the ship had crashed. What wasn't made clear was how he connected Riddick to the crash or why he was so fixated on him. Since Riddick was a notorious criminal, it's plausible that news of the shipwreck involving such a dangerous individual would have been significant. John's intense focus on finding Riddick suggests he may have conducted extensive research on the crash that wasn't shown in the film. The upcoming Riddick Furya might shed light on this mystery and provide more details about John's quest and how he came to know so much about Riddick. That said, let's piece together some key questions that Riddick Furya might address, starting with, why didn't Riddick just steal the ships? In Riddick, much of the tension revolved around Riddick's interactions with the bounty hunters over the ships and his hiding of the power nodes, which became crucial in the film's climax. Despite his reputation as an unstoppable force, Riddick chose not to simply commandeer the ships. Instead, he engaged in negotiations, putting everyone at risk from the planet's demons. This choice highlighted a shift in Riddick's character, reflecting his evolving sense of morality. He recognized that taking the ships would endanger the mercenaries, so he aimed to find a solution that could work for everyone. This decision illustrated a more nuanced side of Riddick, one that weighed the consequences of his actions on others. Another mystery surrounding Riddick is, how long was Riddick on the planet? The film's timeline was a bit murky. Although the opening narration provided some context on the time elapsed since the Chronicles of Riddick, the film's actual timeline showed noticeable jumps. At the start, Riddick is seen with a severely broken leg, which he sets himself, an injury that would typically take weeks or even months for a human to heal. However, Riddick's Furian abilities likely allowed him to recover more quickly. Additionally, Riddick raised one of the planet's jackal-like creatures from a pup, which, given its lifespan, could indicate a passage of at least a year or two. The timeline jumps are also evident when Riddick activates the beacon to reveal his location. The film's editing suggests that the bounty hunters arrived almost immediately, though it's likely some time elapsed. Overall, the events of Riddick probably spanned at least a year, if not more. With these unanswered questions, Ric Furia could potentially clarify these plot points, offering deeper insights into Riddick's choices and the timeline of his time on the planet. Finally, let us answer the question, why did the demons not attack sooner? In Riddick, the mud demons, like the terrifying creatures from Pitch Black, make their creepy debut early on, creating a lot of tension. They pop up again toward the end of the film, adding to the suspense, but it's a bit unclear why they didn't show up earlier. The first mud demon Riddick encounters is hanging out in a huge puddle among the rocks, and Riddick figures out that these creatures need moisture to survive. They're amphibious, so they come out when it rains. Looking at Riddick's timeline on the planet, it seems he was left there right after the rains had stopped. The giant puddle hadn't evaporated yet, and he noticed some greenery in the distance, indicating a wet period in the planet's cycle. Riddick even saw cave paintings showing a horde of these venomous creatures, which made him guess that the mud demons would reappear once it rained again. In the theatrical version of Riddick, the focus quickly shifted away from the events of the Chronicles of Riddick. However, the extended cut included an alternate ending that picked up where things left off. In this version, Vaco, who had betrayed Riddick at the start, had sent Krone to kill him. After dealing with the bounty hunters and securing a ship, Riddick returned to Halion Prime to confront Krone and find out Vaco's whereabouts. Krone revealed that Vaco had achieved transcendence, reaching a state between life and death, and was almost considered a deity by the necromongers. Riddick's reaction was one of insignificance as he gazed out into the vastness of space, underscoring his feeling of being small in the grand scheme. This alternate ending not only resolved the loose end with Vaco, but also dashed Riddick's hopes of discovering the location of his home planet, Furya. While both endings set up Riddick's ongoing quest for his home, this alternate ending added a somber tone to his journey. The Riddick films haven't exactly been known for diving deep into complex themes, and the third movie in the series was no different. While previous installments touched on concepts like faith, with characters such as Imam from Pitch Black and the Necromongers in the Chronicles of Riddick, any Christian references in Riddick didn't really add much to the story. Instead, the film's ending was more about moving forward and showing character growth. Riddick's usual violence was toned down, and his quest for a ship highlighted his true desire to finally go back home. And that's that for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one. What are your thoughts on the unanswered questions from the Riddick series, and what do you hope to see in Riddick Furia? Your suggestions for future videos are always welcome in the comments below.